Okay, so I've already applied my Fourth Ray Beauty Watermelon Face Milk because I put my skincare on earlier today, and I haven't got a foundation with watermelon in it, but the only foundation I've got that actually matches my skin at the moment, with me having a bit of a tan for a change, is my Estee Lauder Double Wear in 3W1. And this is like the darkest foundation I think I've ever owned in my life, because I've literally never been this dark. But that's because I've always done an office job. I'm digressing, but yeah, when you quit your job to be a full-time parent and it's summer and you're running the kids around, yeah, expect to get a tan if you've never had one before in your life. This is Fourth Ray Beauty Watermelon Seed Oil, and I'm just going to mix equal parts, not equal parts, a dot of the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation with a little bit of the oil. I'll show you the amounts that I use. I am not going to be wearing a lot of it because I don't want to wear thick, heavy, sort of matte foundation in the summer. So I probably should just get a pump for that, but I didn't buy one, so I'm using that amount of foundation. Now, I don't know if it's just a defective packaging, but I'm finding it really difficult to actually get this dropper to give me much oil, and I've put that amount of oil on, so that should just give you an indication. And I'm going to mix those together, smear it on my face. There's not really a lot there, and then I'm just going to go over it with a beauty blender. That was a little bit sheerer than I was after, so I am going to go over that again with my with the second layer, because I did want a light sheer coverage, but that was just a little bit too sheer. I don't know what it is about me this year, and maybe it's because I've been using self-tan a lot. I've heard people talking on YouTube and other places about having to adjust things for self-tan, but I've never had such a drastic sort of change. We went to Spain for a week, so I did get some more warmth to my skin, but I just thought I'd go darker in shade. I didn't realise I actually go from a neutral, cool undertone to actually a warm undertone. I reckon it's just the Saint Tropez Bell I've been using that gives like the warmth, as opposed to the the depth. It's more the colour it's more the shade of it and undertone of it that's taken me by surprise, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is all I'm going to do. And for me, Estee Lauder Double Wear, even with oil, is pretty set. So I'm not going to use any powders. And to be honest, I do not actually have a powder this dark anyway. I'm really, really happy with that finish. I just feel like it's just like a natural, radiant finish, but it's just natural. It's not too dewy, not too matte, and just sheer to medium coverage now that I've sheared the foundation out. I've gone and watched the footage of what I've just done, because you can probably tell I'm not at my normal like top best, because I've not filmed in a while, so I'm getting my confidence back up, and I've watched it back like to see what I think about it. And whilst I've been doing that, I've applied my Carmex Watermelon lip balm to prep my lips when we do lip product, and also Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion at the anti-aging one. So let me know in the comments what you use to adapt your base for summertime. I will say that ordinarily I will put SPF 50 on as well. So I haven't, like I said, I showed you the face milk. I haven't actually shown the skincare that I've used. Otherwise, you'll have seen that. But I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to be all preachy, but it's really important to use SPF, especially if, like me, you're using retinol treatment at night. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Now, I do like this concealer. It's a little bit matte for me, but it is the only concealer I have at the minute that's warm enough. It said when I ordered this that it was the vanilla shade, which I have, is like a neutral undertone, and I would not agree with that at all. I would definitely say this is a very yellowy undertone concealer. So I'm going to try and get as much use out of it as possible during this summer, because I don't imagine that I will get much use out of it in the winter. You can probably see that it's just like a completely different sort of colour. It's very, very yellow. I might have to start mixing it with stuff. I think mixing it will really help me because the finish as well, it's very, it gets very, very matte. So if you have dry under eyes, maybe you want to avoid, but the coverage is lovely. I do like the concealer, but I just don't think it's for everyone. But then, you know, nothing makeup wise is for everyone. And it's not a beauty blender, it is a Real Techniques sponge. I really love how I can be completely honest with you guys on my channel as well, and not make out everything's perfect, and just be straight with you and tell you, you know, I'm watching the footage back before I continue just to make sure it's okay, because I'm feeling a little bit, you know, delicate. And yeah, I don't mind admitting that. But this is the Saint Tropez Gradual Watermelon Infusion Gradual Tanner. I wouldn't say this is a gradual tanning lotion. I've tried the Palmer's one and the Garnier one. I use this like an actual tanner, just that takes longer to develop, because it is quite a strong colour. And that's what I've got on today. So I'm really going for it in this watermelon theme. You wait and see, because actually I've got a watermelon drink that I'm going to sip whilst I'm doing my makeup. I'm just going to use my standard Ben Nye powder in Cameo. And that was a recommendation from Emily, from Emily Noel's channel. And I'm just going to use this Real Techniques contouring brush. Is it the contouring brush? Yeah, it's the contouring brush. And I'm just going to set around my eyes. Now, you don't really need to set this concealer, but you'll see in a minute I'm going to use a setting spray, like a hydrating setting spray. So it's all going to even out. And just if anyone's interested, my SPF of choice is a Ven 50 Plus fluid. Purely because it's the only one I've ever found that you can actually take, I can actually take all over my eye area, right up to my lash line without causing any irritation whatsoever. So that's on, and let's now move on to the eyes. Now, it's probably no surprise to anyone that I'm going to use the new Colourpop Main Squeeze Watermelon palette, but just for transition shade, I'm going to go to my new Colourpop singles, and this was a palette that they put together called Here Comes the Sun. And I don't have a transition shade in the watermelon palette really, so this one's called Running Late, and that is completely different on the eyes that's in the palette. I mean, if you look, I've got it here, running it through here, and I'm going to show it to you, but it looks sort of like a beige almost in there, and then when you get it on me anyway, it goes like a real sort of peachy, popsicle-y papaya sort of a colour. Absolutely love it. And as you can see, as usual, I'm just taking my transition a little bit higher than I would usually to accommodate for my hooded lids. Next shade is this one here, which is a slightly deeper shade. And I'm just using some Zoeva brushes. It'll either be a 228 or a 221, and I'm just going to put that a little bit lower. I'm not going to use much of this because it's not the main sort of attraction of the look. It's not going to be my main crease color, but just to transition that lighter shade into the shade that we're going to use next. And I am just going to take that Best Coast Scenario shade and just dust it all under my eye, just to tie the top in with the bottom. As you can see, I'm not a makeup artist and I'm not neat and tidy. It's not that I don't have time. I'm not going to use that excuse like, oh, I don't have time to be neat and tidy, although I don't have time. It's I probably couldn't be neater if I tried. Let's just be honest. Let's just be straight about it. And lastly, I'm going to use the shade Triple O. I thought I'd show you that because so you could see how it's sort of labelled. And it's just this shade here, which has been the camera can't do it justice. It's been my absolute favourite shade in the palette. I've had loads of use out of it, and it's just stunning. It's like an orange coral. That's really the only way I can describe it. It's so bright and vibrant. So just be careful if you want something more wearable, then just be really careful when applying this shade. And I'm just putting it on the outer third of my eye, up into the crease area, outer V, and just slapping that in there, getting it in there. Now I could have picked more red tones, you know, with it being a watermelon look, but it's not necessarily to look like a watermelon, otherwise I'd have green in the look, and spoiler alert, it's not going to have any green in it. You'll probably see that. I haven't filmed the intro yet, but you'll see the overall look in the intro. But it's just watermelon themed products. So I'm going to put that on my lower lash line in the outer corner there messily. I just feel like these sort of colours just really bring out the blue in my eye. So yeah, that's crease work done. So now we're going to hop into the Colourpop Main Squeeze palette, and you can tell just straight away to look at it what my favourite colours in this palette are. I'm going to use Maraschino, which is that one there, and Juicy Fruit, which is that one right there. So I've got Maraschino on a 234 Luxe Smoky Shader. I have used my Too Faced glitter glue on the mobile lid that you can see it's not got any shadow on it, but that was boring, so I did it off camera. And then more watermelon for you, MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus Watermelon Spray. So just be careful with this one, guys. Again, I don't know if it's just me who sort of got a funny one, but then the sprayer and nozzle on that is chunky. You know, it doesn't do a nice fine mist. Now, Max Fix Plus has never done a nice fine mist, as we all know. Well, I think most of us know. I think I put enough on there to do both eyes. Yes, I have. But that one in particular is less fine than any other Max Fix Plus. Mac Fix Plus. I can literally never say that I've ever owned before. And as you can see, I'm putting it on my mobile lid, but I'm just leaving the inner 1/4 free. And that's because that is going to have the Juicy Fruit on, but I'm definitely going to need a clean brush for that. That Watermelon Fix Plus is actually perfect for wetting your brush before you go in with putting eyeshadow on, because the fact that it's not a mist means that there's not wasted product. It's just coming out in like a spritz, so you can aim it at the brush. So it's actually really, really good for that. And I'm just blending it in. It's the same brush, 234. It's just different. I've got two of them basically. That's in a nutshell. And because I've used them wet, I'm going to want that to dry before I try and blend it out. I'm going to do my brow bone shade with a 231 Luxe Petite Crease, again from Zoeva. As you can see, there's really nothing in there that I could put on a brow bone, and it's so funny that I should have a 9-pan palette and then this huge palette and nothing to go in the brow bone. And again, look at that. As much as I love this palette, and I don't want to critique it, I don't want to change it, you know, I've got to admit it's got no brow bone highlight. So I'm going to go into my ambient lighting wardrobe from Hourglass, and I'm just going to go into the lightest middle shade, which is Incandescent Light. And this is a project pan item, so I'm not going to show it to you. And it's perfect for this because it's got to the point now where there's such little product in. The only time I can use it is when I get a tiny brush and dig into the corners of the pan. And that is why I've been using that on my brow bone for God knows how long. And this is just a completely clean, no name brush. And I'm just going to buff around the edges, just see if I can maybe pretend that I'm not completely sloppy with my eyeshadow. There we go. So now that Fix Plus is dry, I'm just going to go in with the original brush that we used to put down the crease work, and I'm just going to give it a little blend. Probably best you angle that correctly, Kelly. There you go, down there, so it's just diffusing it a little bit. Now, tell me, guys, what would you change about this eye look? Tell me in the comments. Would you put shimmer on the lower lash line? Because I'm tempted to. I haven't been wearing it like that, but I am tempted to. I'm going to take my Project Pan highlighter, which packaging is falling apart. It's the Bronze and Glow by I Love Makeup, which is Makeup Revolution, basically. And I'm going to put that on the inner corner. What also works really, really nicely with this look, I've noticed, if you have it, it just costs a lot more, but it actually just looks really stunning. It's MAC's Oh Darling. That highlighter just looks really, really good with this look on the inner corner. And I'm just going to drag that on the inner third of my lower lash line. just to give a little bit of shimmer, not too much down there. This brush is a Zoeva 238 Luxe Precise Shader. Majority of these brushes, especially if you see they've got this colour handle, you'll know they're from the sort of like rose gold collection. Comes in a little bag, absolutely stunning. And that is the eyes done, eyeshadow wise. We are getting there. So I flicked off all of the fallout. There wasn't really any. So I think that's more testament to the eyeshadows than it is my ability. And I really felt like the look needed grounding a little bit. So I have added some eyeliner just right at the lash line, on the upper lash line, in the waterline, top and bottom, and a tiny bit in the outside corner, just because that's, I feel, what suits my eye shape best. And this is a Diego Della Palma eyeliner in 01. I've had to go with grey rather than black. Now, black would have been better, I think. But I just can't really wear black. Unless I'm going full glam, like in the evening, I'll wear black. I've picked this bronzer, which is Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder, and it's in 03 Brazen. And I got the recommendation for this bronzer from Tara Baby's channel, because she said that she liked something with like a scorch, just sort of scorchy red undertone. And so she went with this, and she recommended it, and I just really, really like it, because even when I wear SPF 50, my chest here, it sort of goes a bit red. So this just goes perfectly for that. And as you can see, I'm just equally as skillful and careful at applying bronzer than I am as at eyeshadow. So putting that under the chin, down my neck, sort of messily on my cheek area. I like to put quite a bit up here on my giant forehead because it's pretty big. And I don't put my brows on at this point, because as you can see, when I'm getting my temples, I'm going over the edge of my brow. Oh, I'm hitting the camera apparently. And so I just don't want my brows to be mushed all over my face. This is an e.l.f. complexion brush, which I swear by. It's really cheap and inexpensive, but really good. I don't know how cheap and expensive it is actually in the UK, because things get more expensive from e.l.f. in the UK. I'm going to use the edge of the brush here. You can see the shape of it. Let me show you the shape of it. So I'm going to use the edge of the brush here, and I'm just going to dab into the bronzer, and I'm just going to pop that over the bridge of my nose and slightly down the side there, because I just feel like bronzer suits me better there than highlighter, because that is how the sun gets me. If I want to look like I've actually been in the sun, I need to hit that bridge there, because that bit is the bit on me that actually goes red in the sun. But I have to be careful, because if I try and do that technique when I'm not, like when I don't have a tan, it just makes me look a bit dirty. Obviously the red undertone of that bronzer also goes with the watermelon theme. Thank you. I've actually got my drink now. I'd made myself feel ill drinking so much coffee that I was sort of like feeling ill. So I haven't got a watermelon glass, but I do have watermelon juice with ice, and that is in a pineapple glass. So this is Robinson's Fruit Creations with twice the fruit, and it's strawberry and watermelon, and I do recommend it. It's really delicious. So if you fancy doing watermelon makeup and you want to just really go that extra step with a watermelon drink, there's an option for you. Now this I'm going to have to wear. It's not my Project Pan highlighter, which really I should be wearing, but it is, I can only get away with this when I've got a tan. It's Oh Darling by MAC. I mentioned it earlier. Just absolutely love this. And I've just popped that on the tops of my cheekbones, up a little bit, down on the apples of my cheeks. I don't really go crazy when it comes to blush highlight. Just pop a little bit above my eyebrows, on the end of my nose, up there, I don't know what you'd call that, above the bridge of the nose or the bridge of the nose, and Cupid's bow. Try not to give myself a highlighter mustache. And I will get my Real Technique Duo Fibre brush, the one that I used to flick off the fallout, and I'm just going to buff it in and just make sure it's all seamless. I'm really not sure about this setup. I'm going to have to look at the camera option, see if there's some way I can zoom, because this is my first time filming on my new laptop because my husband's finally got my software sorted for me. Bless him. I couldn't do it on my own. I tried, I failed, and he sorted it for me. So he's got this sorted, and it's further away, so it's just making me feel like I need to be more zoomed in, because my last one was more sort of like that, but I'm literally putting my face right in the camera to create that. I'm wondering if I can just play with the settings and make it zoomed in. Right, I'm going to use Max Saddle on my brows, and you'll have seen it before. I'm just putting shadow in my brows, so I'm not going to film that bit. So I use a Real Techniques brow brush. I've just always used this one, and Max eyeshadow in Saddle, just put something in my brows. I don't really, I'm not a big brow routine, 3 or 4 different products that I've got. I don't even use gel or anything, because I just feel like if the hairs go astray, it just looks natural and fluffy, and I quite like that. So I've got that on, and I'm going to go now to blush. I can tell I'm out of practice because I'm barely even looking into the camera. I hope you're enjoying this video, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you are, because that'll really encourage me. I'm going to go into my new Colourpop blush palette, and I made this myself, and the shade I'm going to use is Parakeet, which is right there, and I'm going to use Zoeva 126 Lux Cheek Finish. I just absolutely love these blushes, and I'll tell you why. I'm really used to sleek blushes, and look at that, subtle. You can barely see it. Let me get that built up for you. I'm used to using sleek blushes and Makeup Revolution blushes mainly, and I feel like and it was probably because Sleek is a brand that I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong about this. I've always got the impression, and I can't remember where I heard it, but I thought that Sleek was started as a brand originally to help women with colour, or for women with colour, because the stuff's more pigmented. I don't know if I've got that wrong. That's what I thought, but when I go to put a Sleek blush on, it's like wha-bam, straight away. You have to be really careful. But with these Colourpop blushes, as you can see, I've put 3 layers on that, and that one as well is, one of the deeper ones I've got. So I really, really like that blush, and I like the fact that you can build it up and you're not going full on clown straight away. It gives you a bit of wiggle room. So off camera, I've added my L'Oreal Paradise Primer Ecstatic. I've got that on right now. Just needs to dry a little bit. I feel like it works best though when you don't let it completely dry. And I've put a second layer of the waterline eyeliner, because off camera I always do that. Otherwise it just doesn't look good. And now more watermelon. I'm going to spray a watermelon in my face. Oh God. Right, once you get it going, if you hold it back, it's not too bad. Then you've got to be expecting to be prepared. Tastes nice to actually get it in your hair and on your chest, everything like that, because you have to hold it quite back, otherwise it's going to pound your face. But yeah, it feels so refreshing and lovely. And this look, I've got several lip options for. Now, I really like to wear it with this Revlon lip butter in Wild Watermelon, but this is a discontinued product. But if you do have this product, I don't know why you would, because if you do, then you're using expired makeup and you're gross like me, and you should throw it away like I clearly do. That shade looks absolutely stunning with this look. But I also have the Colourpop Slice of Life bundle, and that's the Ultra Blotted Lip in Swing Away, and the Ultra Glossy Lip in Fresco. Now, if I was going to wear the Ultra Blotted Lip, I just wear it on its own, because it looks really, really gorgeous on its own like that. And if I was going to wear the Ultra Glossy Lip, which I'll just swatch next to it for you, I would wear that with MAC's lip liner in Fruit Cocktail, and they're an absolutely stunning combo, those two together there. So that's the Ultra Blotted Lip, that's MAC's lip liner in Fruit Cocktail, and that's the Ultra Glossy Lip in Fresco. But today, even though it's watermelon themed, I've given you there 3 watermelon or fruity options. But today I'm going to wear my favourite combo with this eye look, which is my MAC NARS Audacious lipstick in the shade Kelly. My husband bought this for me because obviously it's named after me, and I need to wear it whilst I've got a tan, because the same as the MAC highlighter, I just can't wear it when I'm my normal colour. It just looks jarring on me. So I'm going to get this on, and even though it's not watermelon in the theme, I have given you the watermelon options, and this is just really, really, really gorgeous. It's got like a curved bullet, so it's hard to put it on and talk without getting it all over your teeth. This lip colour also looks really good with the fruit cocktail liner, but at the same time, you know, NARS lipsticks don't really need a primer, so you're the primer, a liner, so you're okay there. So I finished off the mascara with Sumptuous Extreme in Extreme Black by Estee Lauder. This is one of the best mascaras I've ever used. I've got one layer top and bottom at the minute, and I might just pop a second layer on the top, but probably won't need it. This is my watermelon perfume, which is Sorbetto Rosso by Escada. It is limited edition, so you can't get it anymore, but this year's version of it is a pineapple one called Miami, and that is also really gorgeous, and so try that one if you have missed out on this one. But since it's a watermelon themed, God, how many times, don't answer that in the comments, it's a rhetorical question, how many times can one person say watermelon? And I can't believe I almost forgot to put my little watermelon top on. So yes, this is my watermelon themed look. Obviously the outcome of it, it's more like a fruit cocktail, fruit punch outcome. It's not like boom red, but that's not what I was going for. I wasn't going for a makeup look that looked like a watermelon. It was watermelon themed makeup. I hope that makes sense and it's come across well. Please let me know what you think, guys. I really appreciate your comments, and I'm going to make more of an effort moving forward, like I used to before 6 months ago, to really reply to every comment, because I have struggled recently with time management, and I am working on that. So please leave me a comment and I'll endeavour to reply to you. Let me know what you think. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. See you soon, guys. Bye.